So as an anime reviewer, I get a lot of requests to review things every time there's a new anime season, and it is flattering to get people to say, hey, I'd love to hear your opinion on whatever show it may be, but you have to say no unless you want to try to review everything, which is just going to make your anime content very bad because you're rushing to fill everyone's wish and need. But sometimes you get requests upon requests upon requests for the exact same show, which is what happened with Talentless Nana, which, honestly, I looked at it, I watched the preview again, and I kept telling people no, I'm not going to review it, just not my cup of tea, doesn't look appealing, and there's plenty of times I get those massive requests, and it is a show I know exactly what it's going to be at surface level. But I got this another comment. I was like, you know what, this is like the 12th person in like an hour span that wants me to review it. Tomorrow, which is now Monday, I'm gonna check it out. And by the time I woke up, there was even more requests for this. This show is amazing and is one of the strongest first episodes I've seen in 2020. You're gonna want to judge it by the first 5 minutes. You're gonna want to judge it by a lot of things. Complete the first episode and come on back here. Hell, don't even come back here if you don't want to. Just go watch this show. This series, you have to watch its entire first episode and you'll see it in completely different light. That is all I'm going to say, and as spoiler-free as I'm going to be. It is one of the strongest first episodes, not only of this season, but of 2020. Now, I have to say, this show blew me away. I figured with the amount of hype it was getting for what it appeared to be at surface level, as I kind of thought it was going to be like a My Hero Academia clone, you know, a bunch of talented kids trying to raise up to fight the enemies of humanity. It just didn't feel like it was going to be that crazy. So with that amount of people like saying, you have to watch this, you have to react to this, you have to do this and that, to me it said either it definitely wasn't that premise or someone was going to die. And what seemingly happened, it was both. But the thing with it is I thought it was very formulaic. I thought it was very easy to predict what this series was and what it was trying to be. And I thought our main female character, as I assumed would be the main female character, Nana, would be the one who's going to get killed this episode, as there's multiple points throughout the episode that they directed very dramatic, as she almost gets blown off the cliff, or just, you know, it just feels like she's about to get blasted by a fireball, right? There's these moments where it feels like they're building up to make you say, oh, she's gonna nope, and then by the end of the episode, that's probably why people were freaking out, because she got killed and this is gonna trigger something for the main male character. And then the episode ends with her seemingly killing him, and I'm like, that's actually clever. That actually subverted expectations in a way and puts that generic premise into something that feels intriguing. She's saying that these people are the true enemies of humanity. Is this training facility actually evil? Are they actually indoctrinating kids to fight the true humans and things like that? There is so much room for potential here, and while character deaths off screen aren't a guaranteed and most likely they always come back somewhere down the line, I think it'd be kind of clever if like 3 seasons or whatever worth of content later this guy comes back. That would be coming back with a vengeance. But even if they did actually kill him off completely, it sets in stage a series that isn't following and playing by the rules. I love the idea of having this girl who appears to be very airhead and saying like she can read minds and things like that. You apparently have this talentless kid who everyone bullies and belittles because, you know, he's the self-proclaimed leader and he has no abilities. And it's kind of clear why you would get picked on and bullied, because if you're kind of saying, hey, I'm this amazing person and people are tossing fireballs and punching, and I'm like, oh, we got Bakugo, we got, you know, Todoroki. I'm like, this series it's going to be fine. It looks pretty. The character designs are sharp. They actually kind of reminded me of that Assassination Classroom anime. Really liked the presentation of that show, so it was just kind of fun to watch. I didn't think I was going to review it or anything. I was like, I might actually watch this at my own time because it's got some elements that I like and just the presentation is very pretty. And just as the episode got going, I just felt like there was some nice banter. And I thought maybe, I was kind of second guessing myself. I thought maybe people were kind of hyping up this show because it was just a really wholesome show, because honestly, the relationship growing between these two characters and seemingly, it just felt like there was something there. It was a charming show with maybe some fun action and things like that. And I thought, what, are we, you know, like, is the reason it's so shocking is they do more than hold hands by the end of the episode? Because, I mean, we already got Tonikawa over the moon for you, so I mean, maybe we're going, like, so many romances this season that are going above and beyond what you're typically used to. And just as the episode progressed, it's like, okay, maybe they actually are going for suspense and dramatic. While watching the episode, while I did have my suspicions someone could end up dead or hurt, it felt like there wasn't a guarantee, and it really was putting the focus on Nana, not in a way that it was like overly like obvious that she was the red herring, that she was actually going to be doing the inflicting of pain. but there was enough that it made you concerned. And then you also have this one white-haired kid who pops up, and I was like, well, maybe he's going to do something bad. And it just felt like there was a lot of pieces at play, and you don't really look at this kid who apparently is talentless as someone evil. And I still don't look at him as evil, but at the same time, what if this girl who seemingly is a sociopath, someone trying to kill people, is actually the hero and we're looking at the enemies of humanity? And I think this is going to be a show that's constantly trying to make you question who's the enemy and who's the hero. While you do have someone who looks very evil and mysterious and just honestly like a menace, at the same time what she's saying could easily be true, and what she's saying could also be warped by her own upbringing that's completely wrong. And I think there's such a wide variety of stories and possibilities that this could be one of the strongest anime of the season if they keep this level of suspense and anxiety up, and hopefully they will. From what I've seen, I haven't really looked too much into it because I really want to avoid spoilers like the plague for the show. It does seem like this is a series that constantly twists and turns itself, so I'm really hoping that it continues to do what we saw with episode 1. While there are plenty of stories that do have a shocking first episode that just kind of crash and burn afterwards, they don't have any more shocking twists. Honestly, my luck's been pretty good with shows like this. We have School Live and things like that, I've had a pretty good, if you look at the majority of anime that I've watched that tried to shock you on its first episode, when I really like them, it seems like they generally do pretty good for its run, so I'm hoping that this is going to be another one of those shows that just really blows me away, because the character banter, even the general, like before it was shocking, I did enjoy the antics, I did enjoy the so-called bullying and just all these other like random things where you have the teacher being like, okay, you guys want to be leader of the classroom, you got to have this fight but no powers, and then obviously there was powers. The animation was really good when they had the flames and stuff. There was just a lot to really enjoy, even when it was pretty typical and generic. And for me, that was enough to be like, I'm going to watch it, but definitely not going to review it. First impressions at best. And as the episode got going, and as you realize that this whole mind reading and how he was just basically playing into her web, I'm like, what kind of House of Cards shit are we watching right now? It was so interesting, and that dramatic end scene was completely spot on. Honestly, I'd go as far to say that cliff scene at the end of the episode is one of my favorite scenes I've seen so far during this anime season. And while the season did just kick off, I think it's going to be pretty hard to find a series that's going to have an episode that's going to be able to really match this. There's going to be a couple, don't get me wrong, but in terms of just that dramatic suspense and just going back and forth and really not looking at this kid as someone evil to kill, he was really shocked by what's happening, and she seems so sure. Did she make a mistake? Is she right? Are they brainwashed? Is she brainwashed? And that back and forth, who's the hero, who's the villain? I think there's a lot of possibilities to go with this. I'm not totally sure if this series is going to go back to the way it was during a majority of the episode where it seems comfy but then there's some darkness underneath the hood, or if it's going to now completely go haywire like a Madoka Magica. I don't know, but I'm excited. I'm ecstatic to see a show that's honestly, you don't get them too often. You don't get those Gakugarashis. You don't get those shows that just like, you think it's like, why are people hyping this up? And then by the end of the episode, you're screaming like a lunatic. And then people make videos saying you're the lunatic because it's super generic and you're just liking it because of its shock value. It's just a big circle. Everything comes full circle. People love it and then people hate you for loving it. And it just becomes this wild mess that I couldn't ask for anything else. It's something that just feels great. And I mean, honestly, this series woke me the hell up. I have to wake up at like 5 a.m. because I take my girl to work, and honestly, I was like, it's like 6 a.m. I'm like, all right, let's finally watch this shit. I'm watching it. I'm like, And then the cliff scene happens and I'm like, this shit's better than any coffee that I'm drinking right now. This series just has me ecstatic. I kind of wish I could binge the entirety, but I know this would be a show that'd be really fun weekly to watch with people. So yeah, starting on Sundays, you'll be getting weekly reviews for this. I don't know how I'm managing all this anime this season, but goddamn, anime is great. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below, your thoughts and feelings, and where you think it might go from here. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, to share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you happy and new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.